PC, all the kings and queens that's out there. This is your brother, the 13th letter to the cipher, and we are BACKAGAIN. That's right, on MOPOWERZ. You are watching the MOPOWERZ show, where knowledge is key. How are you all doing today? It is a great, fantastic, beautiful day outside. Go out there, get you some sun. Get you some sunshine. Wipe it all over your body. Make it feel good. And not to be funny, even Caucasian people are trying to get black or brown, other than what they are, because they too like chocolate. Facts. But anyway, getting into this video here is entitled Atlanta Killer Cop, LA Police Chief, LA Reparations Bill, and among other things. But the killer cop, whose name was Officer Rolfe, is charged with murder in the Atlantic police killing of Mr. Brooks in the Wendy's parking lot. And he's been fired and charged, and his partner, Officer Brosnan, has some charges too, but he wasn't fired. He was caught placing his foot on the body of the dead victim that the police fatally shot and killed, Mr. Brooks. But not only that, Mr. Rolfe has 11 felony charges against him, whereas his partner, Mr. Brosnan, Officer Brosnan, only got 3 charges. They were all in cahoots, so should not he be an accessory to this murder? Should he not be an accessory to the murder? Not to mention the fact that according to Atlanta police laws, you cannot shoot a suspect running away from you with the taser. You can't shoot him in the back with the taser if your suspect is fleeing on foot away from you. So if you can't shoot a taser while this individual, how can you be allowed to shoot a gun, killing a person, the unarmed black man? You say, well, he took his taser, Mo. Well, guess what? They have tasers threatening us every day, and we are unarmed, but they got guns. And when the taser was released or shot by Mr. Brooks, that taser, according to court images, that taser went up in the air, had no direct bearing to the officer that shot him and killed him. And the first bullet went straight from his back through his heart, shot with a 9mm Glock. Okay? And sadly, it took the DA 4 attempts to actually get the arrest warrant for former Officer Rolfe. Why did they 4 attempts to get the warrant? Haven't you all figured it all? Haven't you all figured it out yet that they're all in cahoots? That they really didn't want the man charged. In fact, speaking of charges, the police officers who was involved in Freddie Gray's murder in Baltimore didn't even go to jail, wasn't even charged. Wasn't even charged. The same as the so-called police officers who murdered Breonna Taylor. No charges have been filed. Now, as I stated, with all of this that has transpired, not just with George Floyd, but we're going to leave it right there for now and move forward as of today. So from Breonna Taylor unto this present moment, how many police have actually went to jail or got charged for murdering unarmed Black men, Black women? And what are you going to do about the results when there is no justice? What are you going to do then? What are you going to do then? I don't understand something. With all of the Black on Black crime that exists across America, how could police murder innocent people's mothers, fathers, brothers, nieces, nephews, and after court proceedings, they are found not guilty and the world knows they're guilty, and yet they still walk around? And yet they still walk around. What if that was your mother? Would the police still be walking around after the whole world has witnessed that that police officer murdered your mother? And after the court proceedings, they still find them not guilty? Would that police officer still be walking around if he killed your mother? Would he still be walking around if he killed your brother, your father, your sister, your niece, your cousin, your grandfather, your aunt, your uncle? And on top of that, after murdering you, they still receive pension benefits. Well, how about when they do things like this, murder Black people, their pension goes away as well. Their pension in fact, don't let the taxpayer pay for it. Let it come out of the police pension fund. Yeah. How about that? In fact, let me bring some numbers up to you real quick. It will only take a couple of hot seconds here. I'll pull it up on my phone since we're talking about numbers and police brutality and killings. Now, what I'm about to read to you is bonds, meaning settlements that have been made by cities, states, whereas the officers, or if they were not murder cases, they were brutality cases. But let me read them off to you in regards to the of money that was paid by taxpayers, not the police pension fund. See, when they do this, they should take this out of the police pension fund, because the very same people who pay for police protection seems to be paying for police murder. They pay, you pay, I pay to get murdered by the police. And they get away with it and still receive a pension. Just like they got Derek Chauvin from Minnesota who killed George Floyd. He still has $1 million pension, according to the news reports. This is not something I'm pulling out of the air. You can go check it in New York Times, New York Post, Huffington Post, Washington Post. You can go there and find it. You don't have to believe me. I don't want you to believe me. Go research it yourself. But anyway, back to these numbers here. Bethlehem, Pennsylvania paid out $7.39 million. Canton, Ohio paid out $1.8 million. Chicago, Illinois paid out $709.3 million. $709.3 million. These cases were settled from police brutality and police murder. $709.3 million. Cleveland, Ohio, 12.9 million. Fullerton, California, 1 million. Hammond, Indiana, 4.8 million. Lake County, Indiana, 18.1 million. Los Angeles, California, 71.4 million. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 26.1 million. Nassau County, New York, 23 million. New Haven, Connecticut, 9.5 million. South Tucson, Arizona, 2.1 million, which gives you a total of $877.9 million, almost $1 billion paid out across the United States from taxpayers' money. And the United States say that they broke, but they pay police people. They pay the families of the people that was murdered by the police or brutally harmed by the police. $1 billion of your money, of my money. I say that, how about putting that in the police reform? Okay? Seeing that they want to reform versus disband. How about taking $1 billion from the police pension fund? Huh? Now, the five highest, Chicago, which killed me. We're gonna stick to Chicago, saying that I'm a native from Chicago, and that's my home. But you got $709.3 million paid out. That's outrageous. It's outrageous. All you gangbangers, all you vice lords, Crips, Breeds, Bloods, what have you, and y'all let the police still walk around? You would kill me if I murdered one of your gang members, but retaliate against the KKK police who killed. I'm not telling you to go out there on police. I am not doing that. However, just think about that. What would you do is my question. I'm not telling you to go out there to kill police. I am not telling you to go out there to kill police. But if the police is trying to kill you and they kill your mother or your father, what are you going to do about it? That's all I'm saying. By the way, fly shirts. You can pop these shirts. You can cop these shirts here at generalsetti.com. They have a lot of fly gear for you. So if you like Black Comedic jewelry, Black Power shirts, Egyptian Comedic shirts, generalsetti.com. The LA police chief said that he is disbanding undercover police units. The LA police chief says that he is disbanding the undercover police units, which is a total of 600 units. Now, why did he say he was getting rid of those units? He said because it is those units where most of their complaints come from of law enforcement being more aggressive than the blue and white, or the black and white, blue and white, whatever their colors are. They all wear blue, right? The gang called Blue. The gang called Blue. The Blue Bloods. The Blue Bloods. Not the Red Bloods, but the Blue Bloods. And these Blue Bloods wreak havoc upon Black people every single day. You all think about that. In the midst of this all, You have the other two murders that took place in LA County as well, with the two black men that was lynched. And they tried to spin it off and say that it was a suicide without having a complete investigation. And they looked so silly. Sheriff Villanueva looked so silly after he said that they have had law enforcement in position for over, for 170 years in LA, and yet he says they made a conclusion without further investigating it the first time that it was a suicide, a public suicide. How many black men and black women do you know of, Black America, that will display their own lynching? In fact, how many black people do you know that will just hang themselves, period? That, we know that where that came from. America can't deny it, okay? That's not even up for, only a fool would debate that. Just like only a fool would debate a cross, which is another form of lynching. And that came from Rome, like they did Jesus. I'm just saying. LA passes its reparations bill. LA passes a bill for reparations. Well, why don't the rest of the country get along on that same wagon with LA? I'm dead serious. America will not be right with you. America will not be right with you. Will not be right with me. They have showed you ever since slavery. Ever since slavery, they've shown you what they think of you. They've shown you that they can kill you whenever they want to, away with it. Is that a way to live? Is that a way to live? Let's think about this. All of these black cops, all of these Caucasian cops are killing black people. How many people, police officers that are not Caucasians, have shot Caucasians? People. How many? Think about that. Now, I want to tell you something that's real screwed up. They have a case in Minnesota a couple of years ago where, as a police officer, he wasn't a white cop, but he shot and killed a white lady. And he's in jail right now. So are you saying, America, which I know that you are, but this just tells me what you're saying, that the only life that really matters is white? If you are not Caucasian, really in America, your life really don't matter. And the only reason that Caucasians or KKK cops don't kill Chinese, kill Mexicans, kill Arabs, but they say Arabs are your enemy. But they don't. Anyway, I'm going to keep going. Asians, Arabs, Mexicans, Chinese, Japanese. You don't see any of those killings by killer cops, KKK police. You don't see any of those killings done to those people. And you know why? Because those people will push. If you are black today, with all that is going on in the world, not only you being black, you have to worry about being a transgender black as well. Because this George Floyd movement, Breonna Taylor movement, Michael Brown movement, Freddie Gray movement, Walter Scott movement, Laquan McDonald movement, and so forth and so forth. This movement had even affected the gay people. And now they are marching with black people. Because the Tallahassee, Florida police killed a black transgender named Antonio Dade in Tallahassee, Florida. So now, not only do you have black people marching and protesting against this evil system of policing, you have the gay people. They are marching and protesting against the KKK police, who gets away with murdering any and everybody. Not only that, this Black Lives Matter, I don't want to talk negatively about that movement, but you know who's the leader of that movement and who sponsors that movement, and they really mean Black Lives Matter? Before there was Black Lives Matter movement, and I'm going to tell you something, Black lives really do matter. Why do Black lives really matter? Black lives mattered so much. Black lives were valued so much that white people went to war with white people for black value. Now, that's just the honest truth. Civil War, right? White people versus white people about black people. Now, for you ignorant black people, let me tell you something. When these white people were fighting each other about black people, we were not killing each other. Somewhere over that course of the next 100 years, from 1865 to 1965, we began to kill one another because of a system that is designed for you not to exist. Now, in the 60s, it started with the FBI placing all of these drugs in the black communities at that time. And we had communities because we owned businesses at that time. At this present time, we don't own any businesses. We live in neighborhoods. The majority. Because some of us don't live in the hood, but we're from the hood, and we still go back to the hood. And when it's time to get hood, we can get hood. There are some black people out there like that. And they're not entertainers, and they're not athletes. That's just real. As the song says it, real gangsters move in silence. Real gangsters didn't do interviews. Real gangsters weren't in videos. I'm just saying. So this Black Lives Matter thing, white people was fighting white people over black lives. And like I said, the FBI, white people destroyed everything that black people build, from Black Wall Street to black movements. Anything that is for the upliftment of black people, white people have destroyed it. But they call you criminals. In fact, criminals is the new word for slaves. Criminal is the new word for slave. Because being black here in America, you always fit the description. You always fit the description. White America, this is your chance. In fact, this may be your very last chance to do what's right. You like, man, Mo, you speaking real big. No, I'm not. White America, this is your last chance to get it right. That didn't come from me. That came from that is within me. And the world feels the same way that I do, because the same thing that is taking here, the injustice that is taking place here, is taking place in Canada. It's taking place in Europe. It's taking place on islands. It's taking place in North America, in South America. KKK culture and executions are being executed all across the country and world. Even China is executing Chinese execution against their own people for a one world agenda. In fact, speaking of China, China is back on lockdown. China is back on lockdown. And they're going to be quarantined, which they are, locked down. So will they go to burning bodies again? Chinese were burning bodies. In fact, they did worse than that in the 90s when they were running their own citizens over with tanks because they were protesting the injustice of the Chinese government and the US government. They've already showed you, the law enforcement of New York City has shown you that they will run you over with their police cars. So if they will run you over with police cars, you are next to be ran over by military tanks. Hey, if you think I'm lying, just continue to pay close attention. This is your last to be right, to do right. And our reparations is a must. You have given all of your victims whom you have slaughtered. You have always given the reparations. If I'm not mistaken, that is also some code of the Geneva Convention, that in war, that is what you must do, according to the Geneva Convention. So why are you so unlawfully, evilly, ungodly, unjustly want to continue to not do what's right? How can you blame other people? You teach in your public schools what? Or in your world religions, don't lie, don't steal, don't cheat, or this and that. But on the back of your dollar, you're saying God, you trust. God is your money and not religion, right? Real people understand that. But you give even little children, you, with your teaching, kills them, programs them from the time they are in your public school system. You program them to be one way and everything is the other way. And you do just the opposite of that which you are programming them to do, making them slaves. Didn't Pink Floyd make that song, Teachers, Leave Those Kids Alone? The teachers are programmed by the culture itself, and the culture itself is evil. What have Black people ever did to white America except build America? For free. Tell us. I'm waiting. Anybody? It's a sad thing. It's a sad thing. This is why Elijah Muhammad said they want a complete separation. Black people in general. He was talking for Black people in general, even though he was speaking for the Nation of Islam. He wanted a complete separation. And I want to correct Brother Ben X. When he said that you can't do this with us, you can't do that with us, we don't want to be bothered with them. That's what Elijah Muhammad meant. Don't try to change his words. Ben X. He wanted a complete separation from white people because they are evil people and they are going to continue to kill you as long as you live among them. How long do you as a Black man have to fear white police? Why should anybody have to fear the police? Why should you have to walk around with a gun? Anytime you are a politician, and I want you politicians to listen good. I want all of you people, viewers, no one specific, just everybody. Because if I do it specifically, that means I'm trying to put a tag on you, and I'm not. Look at it this way. If Black people were to treat white people the way that they treat us, what would you do about that? What would be your response? What would be your actions to the Caucasians? Because I know some Caucasian people are watching this. What would you do? How would you react? And that's another video that I'm going to do later on. But how would you react, and how would you want your enemy to react from your reaction? Why do Black people have to go through all of this madness to indict white people for their wrongness? Why? Because they've stolen all of your country, Black people. This is not the five native country. This is your country. In fact, all 196,940,000 square miles they stole from you. I'm going to say that again. All 196,940,000 square miles have been robbed from you. Actual facts. No debating about that. So, we want these police to go to jail. We want not the taxpayers to pay for police brutality and police murders. We want police pensions to pay for it, seeing that you all don't want to disband the police, but we most definitely going to defund you. And all of these killings that is still taking place after George Floyd, you all know how to stop it. You all know how to stop it. I made a video for the gangbangers. I made a video for the gangbangers on the Mo Show Chicago entitled, Have Black Men Become Cowards? I did one on my Facebook. For those of you who know my Facebook, it was specifically for the gang members and how they ain't shit when you let the police come in and kill your mama, but you say you're blood to your crib. But you let the police come in and kill your daddy. You let the police come in and kill your sister, but you're blood in the crib. Gang signs and gang shootings. And then you have the police shooting you. You're not smart. You're stupid. I'm going to tell all of the gang members that. And I'm going to tell you why you're stupid. Because you're not doing anything to help your community. Excuse me, your neighborhood. Gang members, gang affiliations are not doing anything to help the neighborhood in which they live. Back in the day, it wasn't that way. Gang members protected the community because we owned things back then. Today, gang members don't protect their neighborhood. They destroy their neighborhoods. Actual facts. Don't argue with me. But I'm going to get out your hair. I just wanted to drop that on you. Black lives did matter. They matter so much they made a civil war out of it. Before your Black Lives Movement, that was the real Black Lives Matter, the Civil War. So black people, I'm talking to the young people right now. Please go back and do your history about yourself. And please take a day, take an hour out of your day to just read something positive. Read the newspaper. Cut off the BET for a week. A couple of days, or a week is too much for you. Cut off BET for 3 days and just watch the Smithsonian Channel. Watch the History Channel. Watch the Discovery Channel. Watch the Health Channel. Read. Just do that for 2 or 3 days and see how things change for you. And by all means, prepare yourself because we are at war. We are at war. If you don't have a gun, I highly recommend that you know some martial arts. Because these KKK police no martial arts. And they don't smoke, and they run, and they work out. So you, in turn, need to be doing the same thing, the very same thing. The people who are killing you, they're training. You too need to be training. Train to defend your life. Like if you're a soldier, you would defend the country. It's your brother, MOPOWERZ, where knowledge is key and your third eye makes you shine like jewelry. Thanks for viewing, you all.